Okay, while I'm waiting for my forks to dry, I'm going to go ahead and take everything off this rear fender so I can get it cleaned up. I can get these chrome pieces cleaned up, and I can replace the turn signals. The brackets were rubber mounted on here and the rubber's rotted off. I bought new turn signals. I can just swap out, hopefully. They're supposed to be for this bike, so we'll see. So I got to start taking this apart now. And looks like the first thing I need to do is take these two screws out here that hold this. This is actually, it locks the back of the seat down onto the fender. Just held on with a couple Allen head screws here. Okay, that's the bracket there, and this goes on here, and the cable that comes in to release it hooks onto that bracket. There's a frame inside of this fender that holds it all together, and looks like it's part of the bracket that holds the rear turn signal assembly and license plate. And then there's a couple bolts here that hold the tail light on. So fish this wire through here. And take it out of these little brackets here. There. Tail light assembly off. Clean that up. Clean this piece up. Clean this up. And put it all back together. Okay, this is the rear turn signal bracket and old turn signals off the Kawasaki. So these weren't even tight. I'm assuming maybe because the rubber corroded, rotted away, that this was just snug, and now it's loose, so I can take them right off. Okay, these are their own turn signals, and you can see they have a little plug-in on them. The new turn signals I bought, they said I bought them on eBay. They were really inexpensive. Like, I think these back ones are like 13 bucks. And they claim that they fit a Kawasaki Vulcan 900. Well, I think they'll be fine, except for it doesn't have that plug-in on the end. So what I have to do is I'm going to have to cut these wires and solder this end onto these wires. It's not even in that I can, you know, pop these out and just push these in. It's not the right kind of end for that. So easiest thing's going to be is to just cut this, and I'll probably figure out, so I cut the wire so it ends up with that same amount of wire, so I don't have a big mess inside the taillight assembly to try to get the wire to all fit back in there again. So I got to get my wiring tools, my soldering gun, and then we'll get to work on switching these out. Okay, so that takes care of that one. And you're probably wondering why I ran the green wire to the blue and the green wire here to the black. Well, if you look at these lights, you have a green and an orange and a green and a blue, which means the green is the ground wire. And it was normally on automotive electric and stuff, usually you run black for ground. So that's what this one is. It's going to ground, and this is your hot wire. So that's why the colors don't match up. They're different. No big deal. Still works the same. So what I want to do, I'm not sure it really matters which side these go on because they're interchangeable, but I want to keep the same plug-in on each side that was on there before, so that's why I'm putting this in the bracket so I know that's the side it came out of. I'm not sure if that's the right or the left. No big deal. I don't think it would hurt if I switched them, but I figure try to keep them close to original as possible. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this one, and then we'll get back over to putting it back on the rear fender. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start putting this back together. I'm going to drop this down in there. I'm just going to hand tighten all this for now. I'll come back in after I get it all set up and tighten it all down. I think I'm going to leave this off until I get it on the bike because I want to set these so they're level, and I can't put this piece back on until I have these tight. So I'm going to leave this piece off for now. Next thing I need to do is put this latch assembly back on here. Okay, there we go. To route this wire back underneath these little ears on here to keep it from getting caught in the wheel. This wire here gets. Gotta put the screw back in this hole right here. Okay. There we go. It's ready to go back on the bike. Oop. Good thing I did drop out. I didn't have that wire up where it needs to be. Now I took and waxed these with chrome polish, and they look good from the distance, but when you get up close you can see the spots in it, and that's, you can actually feel it in there. It's in the chrome itself, so it's not going to come off. So this piece would normally mount right here like that. I just think out in the sun, which, let's go outside. I don't have much sun to go off of today. It's actually overcast today, so you don't get much sun, but you can still see the spots in it. And I just don't like that, so I'm gonna have to give that a little bit of thought what I'm gonna do with that. Okay, I've got quite a bit done on the bike. I have a lot of parts put back on the bike that I didn't videotape. I'll show it to you here in just a second, but I wanted to show you part of the chrome I was having a problem with. Even after I cleaned it, I used a polishing pad and chrome polish, and it would clean up okay, except you see all those little spots, okay? And it's driving crazy because I couldn't get those off. I even tried a power buffer, and it just wouldn't take them off. And I got a piece of Scotch-Brite and I tried on one little spot where you can't see it on the chrome, and it scratched the chrome, so I didn't want to do that. So I thought I was pretty much stuck with this finish, and I just happened to, I was looking for something else, and I happened to stumble across this pad. This came out of a floor scrubbing machine. One of the pads that go on it, this is a little center cutout that pops out of it, and I just kept it. I've had it for years. And it doesn't really have abrasive in it like regular Scotch-Brite. It just got the coarse fibers in it. And I used it on a couple pieces and it did a really super good job. So I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta take these outside and scrub them down real good, especially the windshield. You can see it's filthy. I did take a little bit of chrome polish and this pad right here. I cleaned this off good and then I went over it with chrome polish and that pad, and it looks really good. I mean, there's a few little spots in it. It's not going to be perfect, but it looks really good. And on this one, I took I still had it on the bike. Let me see if I can find the. Well, I guess it was on the other side. I did it, not on this one. I didn't do it on this cover. I did it. The other cover's still on the bike, but I ran it over there after I cleaned it, like I did this one, and it took most of the spots out. So let me get these scrubbed up, and then I'll show you what they're going to look like. Okay, I'm going to try some of this on this cover here. I'm just going to do the top half of the circle here, see if it makes that much of a difference. I think my pad's starting to get worn out. I've cleaned up most of the other chrome. I still got one more, actually I got several more pieces to do. I've done them once with the just the chrome polish. That's what I'm using. Turtle wax chrome polish and rust remover, and a polishing pad is what I used on them first time. And I just want to kind of go over this real quick just to show you the difference it does make on it. It's not getting them all out, but it is making a big difference. Bring the camera around here like this. And I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's a big difference from this side to this side, and it's just because of that little Scotch-Brite pad. I scrubbed it originally with just a polishing pad like this, a waxing pad by hand, and that's the way it came out. And you seen just that little bit extra rubbing I did with this with some of the chrome polish. It cleaned it up really, really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing that on this piece. Wow, that looks like $1,000,000. Completely different than what I did before. You don't see most of the spots. There's still a few on there. I might hit this again a little bit. But you can see there, that looks really nice. And I can't stress enough, do not use regular Scotch-Brite when you're doing this. Scotch-Brite will scratch chrome. This is a scrubber pad off of a floor buffer. And these pads, they're different grades, but I don't think they have the abrasive in them like Scotch-Brite does. So it's just the fibers that's doing the scrubbing. This one here didn't scratch. Now, I'm not going to say everyone will not scratch. So if you ever do this, make sure you do it on a piece of chrome somewhere where if you do it, it scratches it, you won't see it, you know, down underneath on the bottom of your pipes or something like that. But make sure you test it on some place first before you do this. I'm not recommending you go out and start scrubbing your bike with Scotch-Brite or anything like that. I'm just saying this is the experience that I had with this stuff, and it seems to work really good. So I'm going to get back to doing the rest of chrome, and then I'll show you what I got done so far on the bike. Okay, this is what I got done on the bike so far. Got the rear fender on, turn signals, tail light, the sissy bar. I got the saddlebags put on, cleaned up. It turned out really nice. All the chrome's looking really good. I got the frame all painted. I got the passenger pegs put on. I still have to polish this side. I went and touched up there was little corrosion marks in the fins here in the black. I took some flat black paint, went in and touched it up, so it turned out really nice. The front end looks really good. You can see here, I still have to do the aluminum pieces here on the handlebars, but I've got the handlebars polished. I went ahead and repainted this to that same silver I did the lower forks. And got the headlight back on, got the turn signals, shaping up pretty good. Chrome, the front forks look really good. This turned out really nice where I painted that with that's just a gray duplicolor wheel paint. The wheels cleaned up pretty good. They're not perfect, but they're a lot better than I thought they would be. The paint on this bike looks really good. Like I said, there's just one spot here that was scuffed up at some point in its life before I got it. I got the front brakes put on, and again I used that wrinkle paint on the caliper, and then I went back after it dried and I took a file and I filed off the top of the lettering on the caliper to kind of make it look a little fancier. Turned out pretty nice. I still got to do the chrome pieces for here. I got to pull the plugs out. I want to put my borescope down in the cylinders, make sure there's no rust in there. I might squirt some WD-40 or something in there before I try to crank it over. I got to check and see if the coolant holds coolant. Hopefully it does. I can't imagine it being any issues with that. Got the floor pans put back on. Again, I painted those that same silver paint that I painted the lower forks with. Turned out pretty good. I got the shifter fork back on. I've got it set in the same position it was originally. It just seems a little low on this end. I don't know. I'll have to wait till I can get the bike running and shift it into gear and see if it works okay. Up here you want it far enough so when you got your foot on the pad it's not hitting against that. So I'm assuming that's where it's got to be. Like I said, that's where it was from the beginning. I got this side all polished and cleaned up. I still got to do the one that goes here. Of course, got the highway peg or the passenger peg on the side back here. Everything's looking really good. Well, the chrome looks really good. It's got a few little pits in it, but overall it's cleaned up very nice using that Scotch-Brite pad. And I'm no professional on this or anything. I'm just doing this and learning as I go. And I just tell everybody, just watch my videos for the entertainment purposes, not for educational purposes. Don't do it just because I'm doing it. Do your own homework and make sure you're not going to damage your bike or hurt yourself. Something like that when you're doing these projects, okay? This is just the way I did it, just letting you know what worked for me and what didn't. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean you should do it that way. Do your research when you do yours. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching the channel. I think it's going to be it for this video. The next video I'll finish cleaning up the chrome, getting it put on there. And the very last thing I want to do is the gas tank. And I've got to clean the rust out of it. So that's going to be probably a video on its own. I'm hoping to get started on that maybe after Christmas, or the week after Christmas. We'll see. If I get the rest of this done this week, I think I'll be able to, which, unless something happens, I should have it all back together except the gas tank by the end of the week. So I appreciate you guys all watching my channel. And like I say, if you like our videos, please share them with a friend, hit the like button, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a great day.